Of Access 72 video, and in today's video I'm back with another interview. I'm here with Paul Deas. Paul, how are we?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
It is a pleasure to have you on the channel, mate. Thank you very much. And so am I right in saying you're a 38-year-old welterweight who's 3-1?
Yep.
Yep, okay, great. And so if you are new around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do need like the video, and let's get straight into it. So I'm going to start off with the question which I always like to start off with. Why did you start boxing?
Well, it's a long story, really. Before I started boxing, I was involved in cage fighting,
Okay.
MMA, mixed martial arts. So, I mean, even when you say 38 there, it kind of is like, wow, I'm still going. More so, I was travelling down like 2004, 2005, doing cage fighting and stuff down in England.
Yeah.
So I started off with that, and done like 5 amateur fights, and then to go to like put elbows in and stuff, you had to go down the pro road.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I went pro doing cage fighting, and then kind of came across every dinky ninja there was. So it was hard road. Let's say I actually did some tournaments down in England, fought John Kavanagh, Conor McGregor's coach. That was pretty cool.
Okay.
Met him years later, got him to sign the medal that I got off him. I met him in the final and stuff. That was cool. And then I done the first cage fight in Scotland, in Pollokshaws with, there was a guy, Duncan Ailey James, great guy. And then I went back. It was the first one in City Nightclub, and I got pretty badly injured. Yeah, I got picked. I had a guy in armbar. I got picked up, slammed on the canvas. It was pretty cool. Just my last fight there, Craig Stevens, the announcer, he was actually, so he was telling me my story, but he didn't know it was me. He was like, I was asking him if he had done anything against. I seen he done Bellator, but he does a lot with the boxing. So I asked him about it, and he was saying the crowd was different, blah blah. And there was this one time in Edinburgh, and I was like, that was me. That happened to me. So it was cool to kind of like put an end to the story as well, because I'd been through so much operations wise. So I mean, that was like 2007. So before that, maybe 2006. So I got really badly injured. Tried to make a comeback of some kind. We were doing martial arts with my club, so I kind of was doing like Valetudo, jiu-jitsu. There was loads we were doing, and then the trainer, Jim McKelvey, he turned to a guy. It was Bradley Welsh from Hollywood, and Sam Kinnick. They were doing an ABS thing. So it was like Amateur Boxing Scotland Association. I think they tried to make their own kind of. It was quite collar,
Okay.
but they were trying to clean it up a bit and do their own kind of thing with that. So I got involved in that for about 2013, and boxing was just so much easier on my body.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did well with that. I did like 20 fights. Only lost a couple of them, dodgy decisions, and then yeah, just kind of. It was more for the injuries and the operations that I've kind of had to try and claw back. And like I say, it was amazing to kind of hear Craig Stevens tell me my story last week and kind of putting an end to what I've been through. So that was really cool, yeah. And so yeah, just like I say, then after all of that happened, I went down the road with just getting some white collar fights, and yeah, I did pretty well. So got in touch with the McAllisters and Granite City, and then yeah, so showed them what I was kind of made of, and kind of kept me going. It's been good.
Indeed. No, that's a very interesting story. I mean, I've spoke to a few people which have experienced injuries and stuff like that, and it can, especially in MMA, there's so many different ways you can get injured, and it is very yeah, it's very impressive that you've managed to kind of keep going through that. And I mean, now you've found boxing, and seemingly it's going very well for you, and so I mean, credit to you to be able to do it. And I suppose that means that even though you are maybe more on the older side of things, you've been through all that kind of stuff. You've got so much experience already.
Yeah, I mean, nobody knows I have been through hell. Like, I have been through hell. I mean, in MMA, you're a savage. Like, like the guys training, but you're a savage. I had my own MMA club, and that was just so hard to keep up because of my body and the injuries. So, falling back to boxing, so I've got my own amateur boxing club now, But before that, we were involved the same road. We had the white collar and MMA, so I was kind of trying to do the both. And I mean, me trying to go professional with boxing, but also doing MMA, also trying to treat my guys, I felt it was a bit all over the place. And to try and keep up with some big guys coming in, there's no ways about it. You need to get involved. So my body was always aching. So it was definitely cool to come back for what I've been through. I mean, like, with the smashing that I got, was like a really bad one. The operations I had to go through and stuff, like, so I felt great to like get that recognition from Craig to say, wow, that's you. I've been telling boxers about this story, because I mean, it was nasty. So the reason I'm 38 still going is because I've been trying since I was 20 odd year old. Do you know what I mean? I've just had to dig bloody deep and keep going. And to be fair, in Scotland at the minute, 10 years ago, I wouldn't really want to be involved in the boxing, in Scotland, Scottish boxing. Scottish boxing is huge at the minute. So I'm great to be part of it. And then just so happens, the show that I'm on is Rise for the Ashes. So, I mean, that's me to a T. It's what I've had to do. So works pretty good.
Yeah, indeed. And I suppose you've kind of answered this already, but I mean, you've been through, like you said, so much. And so what would you say kind of kept you motivated for all them tough times? And what's your motivation now?
Oh, that's good. I suppose it's your why. Like, I didn't really want to be the should have, could have, would have guy. Like, because I was at the level where, like, I was at top level in Scotland. Like, I was saying, I'd done the first ever cage fight in Scotland. That must be like dinosaur years. Like, that's a long time ago. I never really had any recognition for anything I've done. And then, like, I don't know, like, it's a really good question. Just constantly pushing myself, knowing, like, if I fully commit, like, I never fully committed back then. Like, I would train 3 or 4 times a week at the classes and think I was a fighter. Whereas now, like every hour I've got, I'm putting in the work. A lot of work with a guy. I mean, after all this as well, I mean, then I stopped my last fight in 2018 ish, and I had to get a knee operation. So that was, I got so much taken out my leg and then tied back onto whatever pins and all the rest of it. So I mean, still sitting on the couch thinking I could still maybe do this, was my why. And then, I mean, I met a guy, Andy Anderson, Top Level Fitness, and he rehabilitated my leg. We went for that idea first. Look, let's see, and I just thought there'd be no chance we'd get it back. So we got it back. And his kind of motto's train insane, remain the same type thing. Train insane or remain the same. So I trained really hard there on top of everything else I do. And this camp will be going out of Dundee University. So that's cool, seeing what Andrew Usher's doing with Hannah Rankin and stuff. And I mean, even just being around them. And even the guys up at Granite City, Dean Sutherland and all the rest of them, Billy Stewart, and everybody up there, all the amateurs, they're like top class. And for me, I've just had to hang around, and then I always just kept saying, hang around the barbershop. Sooner or later, you'll get a haircut. Like, just waited. So, feels good to get that recognition stuff.
Indeed. And well, I mean, like I said, in the professional side of things are going very well. I mean, 3-1 and running a good record there. And so, out of these 3 professional fights you've had, which one would you say you performed your best in?
I don't know. The last one was actually pretty hard. But it was a good fight. The crowd, I mean, do you know what was hard? It was because I was getting hit with a few bombs. And I quite liked it, but like, that's the kind of style. So I was always a fighter, never a boxer. So I've been trying to clean it up and turn into a boxer. I mean, I have been boxing now maybe 12, 13 years. So I've done the apprenticeship. I have cleaned it up, but I know how to fight. And so I'm trying to draw myself away from just getting in there and banging, which I could do. But I'm trying to be neat and I'm trying to be tidy. So I have in these fights and go through that. So the guy that I'm fighting before, so straight away into my second fight, I took somebody on at 5-0. With no doubt. And then, I mean, the first guy I fought was Jamie Quinn. I mean, he's a test for anybody if you're going to get. So I don't really know what the hardest fight. I would say the last one was probably, it was I don't know, I made it hard for myself, I think. So I got hit too much times and then kind of never worked it out till about the 3rd round. Normally I can work out quite quick. what to do, but I took me a little longer to work this one out. But I kind of had the second round off, and then because I knew then I'll pick it up third and fourth. Yeah, I was probably getting hit a lot easier than that. But it's good though because it's able for me to watch it back, and then I'm able to say, right, fix that. So.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and something I like about you, especially the fact that you have fought Andrew Smart, and I mean he was 5-0 at the time. You're now coming to rematch him in your next fight, and now he's 6-1. And something which I really like to see is the fact that you are going in against these really tough opponents. And so is that something which you're always wanting to do?
Well, to be fair, yeah, but I've always back in the day. I get same with the cage fighting. When it used to come across, like they would ask me if I'd fight somebody, I'd just always say yes. I would never. So I've had to try and. So that's when you need a manager and you need somebody. You need somebody to watch over you, blah blah. Because I got hurt really bad when I done that on different shows and blah blah. But I mean, my manager's straightforward, David McAllister, and he says, like. He says so a couple of journeymen. He says I'm telling them to come and go. Like they're allowed to pick up a win with you. Whereas if you know yourself, with some guys will lay off a bit, or like I'm getting the real treatment. Like if somebody thinks they could beat you, go for it. And he's wanting to see me in the deep end. I think because of my age, there's probably not much long left. But I mean, I feel fit, feel good. So yeah, like I say, he's definitely saying. Putting the challenge on, taking the fight, obviously with 5-0 guys, second fight in. I'm definitely up for challenge. So it's interesting coming up to this next one. So we were a part of a 4-man tournament in that one.
Okay.
Yeah. So if we get past this one, I think it's mandatory challenger for the Scottish title. Okay. So yeah. So whoever wins this definitely fights for the Scottish. So. Something like that's what's been pushing me, and like I said, just not willing to give in just as yet.
Yeah, definitely. And so, I suppose, how much would it mean to you to become a Scottish champion?
A lot. I mean, everything I've been through, I fought for a few titles. I fought, like I say, on that first cage fighting show, I fought for a Scottish title. I fought for titles. I've always came short. Okay. I've came short, but I've fought weapons of guys. Like they're tough opponents. So. Yeah. I mean, when I turned it into 2 gloves, I mean, I've ate elbows, I've ate knees, I've ate everything, I've ate so much. Like, if you want to put 2 gloves on me and try and hurt me, then like it's going to be a bit of a task. So yeah, I'm up for it. And the thing is this is an 8-rounder that I'm going into. I mean, it's tough. 4 rounds is tough. 8 rounds is tough. 10 rounds is tough. But like, your body will take over. I've been there. And there's no pressure with me. I've been to the worst places, and like I'm just enjoying the time, enjoying working with Andrew Usher, enjoying working with Andrew Anderson, enjoy working with like the McAllisters. It's great. Like I'm just enjoying it. So, and even for yourself, ask me to come on. Like just enjoying the journey that I'm going on. And then I says my goal was because like I went to LA with the guys from Granite City, and that was epic. I mean. That was mind blowing to train with Freddie Roach and actually do pads with Freddie Roach, and like I mean it was so good, and like even showing my game there when there was a guy I think they called him the Mantis, the praying mantis. He looked tough as hell, and I mean I was willing to go in with him. I mean, and I sparred with some good Russian guys. I mean. There was definitely. I'm not very nervous going to gyms anymore, but there's nerves there. Going into the wild card, I mean, that was pretty tough. So that was that was good. That was one of the most things. I mean, forgetting all the fighting, I just love to be part of that. It was cool, and like I say, and watching how well, like say Dean Sutherland and that are doing, and just being alongside them and just kind of tagging along, if you like.
No, definitely. I mean, we've had Dean on the channel. He's a great guy, and I'm sure, like yourself, you're both going to go on 2 big things in the sport. And well, of course, you're both on the same card for this fight coming up in June 3rd, and I think it's the first fight card I've seen announced for June that you're getting prepared early. And so, what's this long, nice camp's going to be like, and how's it going so far?
Well, it's good because I just done a fight a couple of weeks ago. I'm feeling good, feeling fit. So kind of just keep on going. The last one, because they were dealing with Hannah Hannah Rankin, up in the university, Dundee Uni. That's where she done her camp. So I'm hopefully now going to, well, I am. I spoke to them yesterday, spoke to Andrew Usher, so I'll be doing my camp there, up Dundee University, which is pretty cool. And that's down to him. He's took me on and stuff. Following that, before all this, there's like 8 or 10 boxers in Scotland. We've all been doing for the last couple of years like a research program up there.
Okay. So
we've been doing like just loads of different testing. So it was good to kind of build up a wee relationship and stuff with Andrew, and he does a lot up at Granite City as well, even some of the amateurs, and obviously done stuff with Dean and done stuff with all the rest of the guys. So yeah, it was cool for him to say, well, look, try to be part of this as well. Yeah. So loving it. Yeah, and like I say, I do a lot now at top level fitness with Andrew Anderson. Really good strength and conditioning. That's something I always used to kind of overlook. Never really done when I was younger. Okay. I just used to like fighting. But the strength and conditioning and getting the running in and getting like living like a pro, I suppose, and really having to commit.
Yeah.
Commit.
Indeed. And I suppose for anybody who might be coming to watch this upcoming fight of yours and be a fan of yours and maybe haven't watched you fight before, what would you like to say makes yourself interesting as a fighter?
Well, with this fight, definitely everybody's seen what happened in the first fight, and it was, I mean, there was one point in it went his way. I slipped. So we were fighting at the ice rink. It was quite condensated actually in the building. Okay. So even the canvas was like that. So I had slipped and started getting a count. So immediately, that was in the second round. So immediately I'm 10-8 round down. Yeah. And I think shit. But I mean, it probably for the fans and stuff, it made me turn it on. Like, so I say it went. Knowing I was a bit annoyed, it was. Because me and Andros are actually under the same manager. Okay. I never really got, like, Andrew he had done an interview, and I seen him in the paper saying, the scorecards were miles off, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, for being at the bottom, where I've had to come from to get even any recognition of how tough a fight he had, I mean, that's on him. But I know, and everybody else know, and all the 5 fans knew what happened. I'm not going to say much more, but, like, with this fight, let's say Andrew Smart's a good boxer. Like he's a veteran in the amateur game. Actually, with boxing Scotland, I'm sure he's had 50+ fights. Somebody even told me he's fought Josh Taylor in the amateurs and stuff. So I mean, I didn't underestimate anybody. But I mean, I've been through shit. I've been through a lot. So like, you need to. Sorry, somebody at my door there. I know, like. I mean, when I'm in there, you're in for a fight. You're 100% in for a fight. It doesn't matter what's going to happen. That's where I do my fighting, is in the ring. And if I get knocked down, I'll get back up. Like, this is what I've proved that I've done. And but this time, I mean, he's going to be up for it, but I'm more than up for it. So it's going to be good to get some redemption.
Indeed. And I suppose now you have been through all you've been through and you are at the point of where you are in your career. When you go into these fights, do you not really feel any pressure or any nerves going into the fight?
Well, experience, I think, gets rid of that. When you're experienced and you've dealt with, I mean, I'm going through it with my own guys at my own club. Like, when you're in that ring, that's wow. I mean, normally your legs go, everything goes. Like, you're not the same as you were in the gym. So I've been there. I've done it all. Like, I felt that feeling. Like, you're in there yourself. You're in this yourself. Nobody really cares about you anyway. Like, you need to just dig down deep and really just like, I mean, like I say, the last time. I was just so relaxed. Sometimes you can be too relaxed, but like I'm just really relaxed. And just enjoy the moment, because I mean it's going to be over one day. Do you know what I mean? So just enjoying every minute of it.
Indeed.
So
And so I mean you are still early on your boxing side of career and that side of things. And so where would you like to see yourself in a year's time in the sport?
So I'll get past this one. We would fight for the Scottish. 10 rounds for the Scottish. I'd definitely go for that, obviously. If we get past that, then, I mean, let's look at Celtic titles. And I mean, even like the stable with David McAllister, to watch, like, say, that Darren Traynor go and fight Carl Frampton and stuff. Like, that's people that I'm seeing up there that think, well, if they could do it, and then, like, loads, this isn't just an example. Like, I mean, there's so many the different, like, the chances are there. And I mean, even something like Kinnick Boxing Stable, you seen they're on Sky last week or whatever, and Jordan Grant, he was getting called up. I mean, the opportunity in Scotland is there. I've just had to wait a long time to kind of get my shot. Even before my debut, I was 2 weeks from my debut in 2019, so I'd waited, like, I signed at 33, and then I was like 2 or 3 weeks, I broke my orbital, and I mean, that was I just thought, I'm never going to get here, I'm never going to get this, like, so I broke my orbital, that was really bad, and then, so after that, like, COVID hit, so 2 years had to pass, gave me a bit of healing time, I suppose, in my eye, but I never just sat and sulked, I just kept on training, and yeah, so leading back to your question, in a year's time is like, so get past Andrew Smart, then I'll think about it, then we're going to Scottish, get past him, I'll get on to that, and then, I mean, where boxing is the minute, I'll take the call to go down and fight some decent guy, decent prospects. The last guy I fought, I seen who he was fighting before. I actually looked him up after. I don't like looking him up first, weirdly enough, because I seen that the likes of, there's Jason Harty. You never, like, this guy's taking these guys all the way. Jason Harty, like, he was with David at one point. I seen him dropping guys in the gym and blah blah blah. Seen him on Queen. The guy I fought was on Queensberry there on one of maybe Frank Warren's show. Like proper prospects. Everybody's thinking I'm an old man, and I'm going to take him out, and quite likely so. My manager's saying, well, if you can, go for it. So I'm having to get proper fights. So I'm enjoying it, definitely enjoying it, and hopefully I could keep it going.
Indeed, and of course you've spoke about your coaching side of things, and I'm glad to see you are doing that coaching. And how much does it mean to you to be able to help the future of boxing?
It's big. One of the main things is getting on board with Boxing Scotland, and having an actual amateur club. Because of the white collar shame, I think it's more a shame for the fighters who, as in, they're getting the still for it. They're good fighters. People who come for the white collar. So there's a big difference between ultra white collar, which is that cancer stuff, which is, that's a different subject. But there's white collar shows. People will call it semi-pro. People will call it. They've just not found an amateur club. Like, there's, and a lot of these. So there's nothing wrong with what's going on there. It's the fighters are tough bloody fighters. That's what they could scrap. It's more kind of pro style. But coming into the Boxing Scotland side of things, like, it's just so organised. It's so, like, I'm so happy to be involved in it. Even just with weights, date of births, proper matching, proper registers, proper licences, and I mean, it's good to be part of. And like I say, so my club coming through, we've done we've got a couple of Scottish champions at the novices, and then at midgets we've got 2 of them in at the Open on the April the 15th. So we've only been registered, I think, just under a year, and we've done pretty well. So they're obviously all looking up to me as well, and I mean, I just want to keep it going for them. But like, I'm past the nervous, should, like, I need to do this for this. Is like, just enjoy it, telling them to enjoy it, and just relax, and nobody really cares anyway. So just go and enjoy it, and do it for yourself.
Indeed, that's a great message. And so I'll leave with this final question, which I always like to ask. You've got a little bit of a platform here. Would you like to shout anything out?
No, just really, obviously my sponsors for helping me through my medical and stuff, and the guys who train me, Andrew Usher, Andrew Anderson, and David McAllister, and everybody up there, and obviously Linktown Boxing Club. And that's my club. So.
Okay, great, nice one. Well, thank you very much for doing this, mate, and maybe a little bit further on down the line, we can have you back on.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks very much, mate.
Great.